I'm an SEO consultant. You need to create more content. Be honest, how sick are you of that song? I mean, that message. So what do you do if your SEO person's going, create content, create content, create content? I've got 5 neat little tricks that will explain exactly what you do. Watch on, let's do some cool stuff. I probably should have tuned this guitar. Let me give you a scenario. You're sitting here, you're watching this, and you're thinking, another SEO person going on about content. It's all very well and good for you telling us to make content and sit there. We don't have time, and if we do have time, what do we write about? I've written 10 blog posts already in the last 5 years. I'm out of ideas. We'll come to that in a minute. Before, I'm going to hype you up by reminding you just how important content is. Content influences buyer motivation. If the content on your website's really boring, or doesn't talk in the right tone, or doesn't engage with your reader or your prospective client or customer, not just your reader, what's going to motivate them to get in touch and become a lead, or to buy something, or hurriedly get their wallet out of their pocket so they can give you some of their money? Nothing. So, content also warms people to your brand. People might have found out about your brand, found out about your company through various means, and they just want to find more. They're idly sat on their settee with a glass of wine and their phone, and I'm going to look up that Parrot Beak Polish company and see if they might be the right company for me to deal with. When they get to your website, if the cupboards are bare, if the blog is empty, if your pages don't have much text on it, you're not giving them anything to fall in love with. This is one of the many reasons content is so important. You're warming people up, you're helping them fall in love and ultimately loosen their wallet. Content is really important for establishing you as an authority. If somebody has a pain point or a need or just a product they want to buy, they're going to shop around. I'm afraid you do not exist in isolation from your competitors. They're going to have a look around. Now, who do you think they're going to buy from? Do you think they're going to buy from this very pretty website that doesn't actually have many words on it or much content at all? Or are they going to buy from your competitor, the one who actually explains the product, the problems it solves, and why theirs is better than yours? They're going to buy from them, obviously, because they are speaking with more authority. Remember, as soon as somebody comes to your website, you want to be building trust. Look at some of the other episodes in this podcast and YouTube series for more information on building trust with your visitors. Good content on your website is also essential for reinforcing a message. This could be a message that you're putting out on videos or podcasts, or when you do public speaking, or in advertising, or the leaflets you push through people's doors, or the things you tell people. And so many things. If you know what your core business message is, your website should be reinforcing that. Go and look for the episode of this podcast and YouTube series that features Kate Carruth if you want to really dig more into how important this desire to share information is. Last but not least for this section, good content is keeping your brand in front of your potential clients and customers. Even if they're not coming back to visit your website, they'll hopefully see the social messages that you're putting out, signposting people to your brilliant content. So that is content for influencing buyer motivation. It's content for positioning yourself as an authority. It's content for warming people to your brand. It's content for reinforcing a message. So now I've convinced you that you need to make content. Where are you going to put it? Well, I've already talked about you putting it on your website, but you could also put it on somebody else's blog. You could put it on somebody else's website. If you've got a local chamber of commerce that you're a member of, create content for their blog. Put your content on social media. I think when people talk about creating content, they think of it in very grand terms. They can think about making videos, or they can think about writing huge blog posts. But content is sometimes just a little witty, insightful comment that you make on social media, or any of that kind of short form stuff. So that's the why, that's the where. Now, how much content should you create? Did you answer then, or did you just look at me? How much content should you create? It's kind of up to you. Consistency is more important than volume. If you can write 400 or 500 word blog posts once a quarter, do that. Just stick to once a quarter. Although if you start to see more people read your posts, you're going to be tempted to write more. I quite often get asked in SEO terms how long a blog post should be, and the honest answer is, well, it depends on what Google likes for your niche or for that topic. If you want really broad terms, don't bother writing less than 300 words and only write over 1,000 if you're really sure it's the right thing to do. Have a look at your competitors. Each time you search for the products that you sell, look at the people who come up and the people in the pages that come up high up in Google. How many words are they writing roughly? If you can't figure it out, copy, paste it, chuck it into AI. How many words is here? Do a few. Incidentally, that's a good extra bonus thing. If you're going to write on a topic that other people are writing for, use AI to sort of mush all the content together and find out what the tone should be and all these kind of things. That's a little extra bonus for you. So, how much content? Up to you. Length of content? It depends, but up to you. But do you know what? A small amount of content is still better than no content. Right. I've told you the why, I've told you the how, I've told you a little bit about the how much. Now, the problem here is you might not know what to write about. When I first started in SEO, many years ago, it used to astonish me. I'd speak to clients and go, hey, you need to write like an article a week or an article a month. And they'd go, do I? And what am I going to write about? And I'd say, look, you know your topic. You've run your business for 35 years. You must have something to talk about. That was when I was much, much younger. Now I know the truth is, when your head is buzzing and you're full of just keeping your business going on a day-to-day basis, actually finding topics to write about can be one hell of a challenge. So if you've allotted yourself half an hour or whatever time you can manage to create content, and you sit down and your mind is empty, what do? I'm going to tell you what we do. But I'm going to give you a set of rules and tasks that we go through when we're trying to think of something to say when our minds are empty. First of all, think about what's new to you, connected to your business. What's become apparent to you in the last few days, months, years, whatever. It might seem really obvious to you, but for your audience, your potential clients and customers, it could be a complete revelation. So if you've just discovered X and you think, yeah, well, surely everyone knows that, don't assume it. For one thing, just because your competitors might know that doesn't mean they are sharing it. You could be the first to share it. And if somebody else is already sharing this revelation that you've just thought of, then share it better. Argue with them. Say the complete opposite. Only if you believe it, of course. So there you go. Share something new. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is comment on industry news. If you're sitting there and you're trying to write a social post, for example, and you're keeping an eye on the industry news, or you've heard your industry mentioned on the radio or on the TV, or you're reading your industry magazines, and you've seen something that's made you go, hey, my eyebrow, I'm not sure I can raise my eyebrow. Hey, that's interesting. Share it. Again, you could be the first person to share it. Give opinions, and above all, be brave. Don't be vanilla. Don't just go, I find this article interesting. Because if you're sharing that on LinkedIn or on your blog or anywhere else, that's not going to be very interesting to other people. Say you can be a little bit argumentative. Give opinions and be brave. Actually share what you think. But there comes a point that you don't want to overshare. Think if somebody was seeing you comment on this news article and they knew nothing about you, they'd never had the pleasure of an evening in a British pub with you, what would they think of your opinion? I say don't be too scaredy cat about it. Be yourself, but just think this could be somebody's first impression. A counter to that argument is if you give a very strong opinion, you might just be putting off the people that are never going to buy from you or never going to be your clients anyway. But the important thing is don't be vanilla, don't be beige, don't just say, this is interesting because it has enough words and I wholeheartedly agree. Try and add value to the conversation, especially if you're going to write up or share any bit of news on your blog. Use your flavors, use your personality. Don't be boring, just please don't be dull. So there's 2 ideas. I've got more. I call these the power-ups, the content power-ups, the go-tos. When your mind is empty but you want to create content, do these things. Search on Google. So this is tip number 3. Search on Google. Just type in what it is you do Try putting the word what is, or how does, or controversies around, or advice for, tips for, and then whatever you do. So what is SEO? What is ravioli? Who wants to admit they ate 10 tins of ravioli? That kind of thing, because the auto-suggesting Google will actually show you what people are searching for. This is particularly lovely from an SEO perspective because it shows you what there's an audience appetite for. I'm not going to get too into depth in that. This is more about just coming up with ideas when your brain is empty. Tip number four. Go to Quora.com. If you've not heard of Quora, it's Quoracom. It's a question and answer thing. People type in questions, sometimes really daft questions, and other people answer. People will upvote or comment on the questions that are popular. So again, go to Quora.com. You might have to sign up, but it is free. Just put in topics from your industry. Put in the names of bits of equipment you work with. Put in technical terms and just see what questions people are answering. The ones at the top of the results page are the ones that people ask the most often or are the most popular. That means they're already proven themselves to be interesting content for your niche or your particular client base or potential customers. So that's tip number 4, Quora. Would you like another one? Would you like a tip? Would you like another one? Would you like a tip that doesn't require you to actually go and do something all the time? It doesn't require you to think, I need a topic, and actually hunt for it? I'm going to give you tip number 5, and that's to use Google Alerts. If you've never seen Google Alerts before, just go and have a look. I've said in previous episodes that you can find it by searching Google for Google Alerts. Google Alerts is a free Google service that allows you to put in keywords or phrases, brand names, anything you want. And if something interesting pops up, they'll give you a little nudge on the shoulder via an email or RSS feed if you fancy. It's a brilliant thing. Another little bonus tip, put the names of your competitors in. Get notifications when your competitors are publishing new content. That can be quite interesting and very, very useful. So there you go. There's 5 tips. You can search pretty much anywhere online. I've just given you 5 places that are our go-tos. But just fire up the old internet or GPT or anything. Just ask. Just look around. Use your eyes. Right. Power up number 6. BuzzSumo.com. It might not be free, but if you really want a proper power up, go to BuzzSumo.com. Put in the title of your industry, your topic, again, any words that you think might be interesting, and it will show you the most popular topics for those words in the entire world. The reason this is interesting is it will show you how many times each of the most popular topics have been shared on social media. Because yes, I want you to want to create content on your website, on your YouTube channel, on your podcast, on your social media. But really, we want that content to be shared. We want content that is so good, people are reading it and going, I must tell everyone I know about this content. So, are you excited? Have you now got some ideas for how you can always create content about your topics, even if your brain is absolutely empty? You have? Oh, I'm so pleased. Thank you ever so much for watching this. I'm so pleased you liked it. I'm assuming you liked it if you're still here. Anyway, please like, subscribe, and tell